is Friday Night Lights with Brandy Flores. Brought to you by Outdoor Living Concepts, your outdoor cooking specialist.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for week 4 of Friday Night Lights. I'm Brandy Flores. This shortened season is starting to come to a close, but still plenty of action to get to tonight, including what might be the best game of the season so far. But we'll start with a time-honored tradition, the 61st Victory Bell game between Coachella Valley and Indio. Coachella Valley is the team to beat in the DVL this year, a perfect 3-0 on the season. Indio comes into the game 1-1, winning last week handily against Desert Mirage. But as we've seen all season long, Coachella Valley would put their stamp on this one early. Sophomore quarterback Hugo Sandoval continues to shine for Coachella Valley, throwing touchdown pass after touchdown pass. He might be the MVP of the DVL so far this season. A one-sided bell game this year with Coachella Valley taking the win 47-0. They'll look to finish their undefeated season next week at Yucca Valley. Indio falls to 2-1. They'll try to finish strong next week at 29 Palms. Now we'll turn to the DEL. 2 games on the schedule tonight. We'll start with La Quinta hosting Xavier Prep. The Saints sitting at 1-2, looking to get back to 500, while the Blackhawks are looking for their first win of the year. But it is senior night for the Blackhawks, so let's see if that can light a fire. Xavier Prep gets on the board first after this deep play action pass that gives the Saints an early 7-0 lead. But soon after, the Blackhawks drive downfield thanks to this amazing catch by Callum Armstrong. La Quinta would tie it up on a short touchdown run from senior running back Mason Conway. The Saints come right back with a touchdown drive of their own on another great pass from QB, and a QB sneak from Ryder Ruiz sets him up perfectly to punch it in for the touchdown. The Saints get a couple more touchdowns to increase their lead 20-7, but we aren't done yet. The Blackhawks cut into that lead on a long touchdown run, making it 20-14 Saints. But the game keeps up back and forth. La Quinta scores on a long touchdown run on the left sideline, giving them a 1-point lead, 21-20, with 6.5 minutes left in the game. The Saints aren't going down fighting, though. A long pass takes them all the way down to the 1-yard line. They punch it in, go for 2, and not convert to retake the lead 26-21. And the Xavier Saints take the win 26-21 over La Quinta. Running back Michael Johnson was on point tonight, scoring 2 touchdowns. Here's what he and his QB had to say after the win.
What I seen on the field, all I seen was green grass, so I just kept on running the field, running downfield, trying to score every play. I want to thank my line. Finally, I could go to sleep, feeling good now.
Honestly, I feel like it was good because we got back into the win column, but there's still so much we got to work on. Penalties killed us. Penalties made it a close game. We just got to clean it up going into next week.
A good team win for this young Saints team. Now on to our other DEL game on the night. Palm Springs hosting Shadow Hills. Palm Springs is in second place at 2-1 on the year. Shadow Hills sitting at 1-2, looking to get back to 500 as well. Palm Springs comes out the gate firing. They score 2 quick-hitting touchdowns on their first 2 possessions to take an early 14-0 lead. A lead they would not give back. The Indians showing why they're the second-place team in the DEL this year. Everyone getting involved. Palm Springs had an air attack and a ground attack working tonight, and they take the win 49-0 after another shutout for the Indians. They improved to 3-1 on the year. Senior running back Arian Kapler was hyped about tonight's win.
Everybody was making plays today. We was looking nice today. We feeling good. We feeling good. I still got my gear on. I want to play some more. Everybody want to play. I like our secondary want to play. Everybody on the bench want to play. Get on the field.
Gotta love it. Palm Springs will try to lock down second place in the DEL next week against Rancho Mirage. Should be a good game. Now back to the DVL. Cathedral City hosting Banning. The Lions are 2-1 on the year. Good enough for second in the DVL. Meanwhile, Banning played their first game of the year last week, losing to Coachella Valley. And this game would be all Lions from the start. The young squad owning this one. Cathedral City quarterback O'Shea Wallace, again, doing a bit of everything, commanding the air attack and scoring a touchdown of his own on the ground. We've seen a great turnaround from this Cathedral City team. The majority of their players had never played football before, but now they're blowing teams out as they win this one 53-13, improving to 3-1. Good for second in the DVL. With this loss, Banning drops to 0-2 on the year. And we did have a couple of Thursday games this week. We'll start in the DEL with Palm Desert hosting Rancho Mirage. The Aztecs are 3-0 and looking dominant this year per usual, but Rancho Mirage is 2-1 and looking to upset the champs. This would be a low-scoring affair with defense dominating for both teams. Palm Desert jumped out to an early lead. The Aztecs forced a fumble and recovered deep in Rancho Mirage territory. The offense would then take the ball on a short short field and punch it in, and Palm Desert takes a 7-0 lead. But Rancho Mirage would answer after an interception. The Rattlers scored a touchdown of their own, tying the game at 7. That score would hold until the end of the first half. Now, at the end of the first half, Palm Desert drives downfield with ease thanks to some Rancho Mirage penalties and kicks a field goal to take a 10-7 lead at halftime. The second half would be a defensive showdown for both teams. Rancho Mirage has a good look at the end of the game, but they aren't able to find the end zone, and the Aztecs win it 10-7. 22 straight wins for this Aztecs team, and head coach Shane McComb couldn't be more proud.
Great job, man. We had a great week of preparation. We got great players, and like I told the kids, when you get 22 straight, they're not all going to be pretty, but sometimes you just got to fight and find a way to win. That's what we did tonight. So it's a great job by the boys. I'm proud of them.
Oh, man, incredible. Defense wins championships, and that's what we did tonight. We held them to 0 points in the second half, and our QB did great, came in, and we shut them out. We did what we had to do.
Very exciting. I mean, I've been a part of all 4 of these league victories, and it's just amazing every step of the way.
There you have it. Even though it was a last-minute short season, the champs still came out on top. And we had another Thursday high school football game. Desert Hot Springs traveled to Central Union High School after Desert Mirage had to forfeit due to lack of eligible players. And shout out to Desert Hot Springs Athletic Director Kai Lyles, who found another last-minute game for these kids. But unfortunately for Desert Hot Springs, they did lose 28-0. That drops them to 1-3 on the year, 0-2 in league play. All right, another busy week of high school football is in the books. In case you missed any of tonight's scores, let's quickly recap all the action across the valley. In the DEL, Xavier Prep wins a close one against La Quinta, 26-21. Palm Springs dominates against Shadow Hills, winning 49-0. And in last night's game, Palm Desert continues to roll, beating Rancho Mirage 10-7. In the DVL, Coachella Valley wins the bell game, continuing their dominance. Cathedral City beats Banning, and in a battle of high desert teams and their own bell game rivalry, 29 Palms beats Yucca Valley 43-7. And last night, of course, Desert Hot Springs, after having another game canceled, found an opponent but unfortunately lost. Week 4 is in the books. We had some great games this week and a couple rivalries, so let's break down the action. Joining us now is Desert Sun sports reporter Shad Powers. Shad, again, thank you so much for joining me this evening.
No problem. It's always fun, Brandy. Let's break down these games.
All right, let's first start with one of the best games tonight, in my opinion. And we were also both at that game through the whole time. La Quinta, Xavier Prep. Now, we'll start with Xavier. Obviously, they came back and won, but it was a very back-and-forth game. How would you rate their overall performance?
Yeah, I thought it was great. It was just kind of one of those excellent football games where both teams were just playing their hearts out. And that's nice to see. That we haven't had a lot of close ones this year. But Xavier Prep, what I like about them, having seen them now a couple times, is their balance on offense, especially. They're one of the few teams that really can pass the ball and run the ball sort of equally well, and that showed tonight. Michael Johnson, their great running back, had over 170 yards rushing, a couple touchdowns. Ryder Ruiz, their young QB, had a great night too. I had him for over 200 yards, a couple touchdowns of his own. So that's what makes them tough, I think, is their ability to do both well.
Yeah, I agree. And Michael Johnson, one whole touchdown drive was all him, and he even scored the touchdown at the end. So lots of great talent, and it is a young Xavier Prep team. Now moving on to La Quinta, it's a very crushing loss for them, also on their senior night. I know they were bummed, but what was missing tonight for them that would have put them over the edge for this win?
Well, I think it kind of comes down to the first half. It was an unusual game. They got it inside the Saints 5-yard line a couple different times and didn't come away with touchdowns. Once the Saints stopped them on 4th and goal from the 1, and then the time ran out in the first half as they were at the 1-yard line, the 1-inch line. So if either of those touchdowns had been converted, things might have been different. So that was kind of the unfortunate part for them. However, I got to give them credit. I thought they played great. I would say definitely their best game of the year. And, it was impressive to see the effort they were playing with. And like you said, especially some of those seniors on senior night. I think they should be proud of their effort tonight for sure.
Yeah, definitely. With this short season, a lot of these athletes are just excited to be out onto the field, and at least they're playing with heart, which is what we love to see as fans. Now we're going to move on. We're going to switch over to Coachella Valley. Hugo Sandoval, a sophomore quarterback. It's his first year starting at the varsity level. He's doing amazing.
Yeah, I love seeing that kid. He can really fling the ball too. He's not just dumping it off here and there. They throw it deep, and they throw it deep a lot. It's a fun style to watch. And he's really racking up the yards. And Boy, we have a lot of talented young quarterbacks in the desert. Almost all of our best quarterbacks aren't seniors, so we should be in for a treat in the fall with some aerial attacks. But yeah, Hugo's been a revelation. Really fantastic job for the Arabs this year. And boy, they're just rolling, and they haven't really been. No one's really even come close to them. It's been an impressive thing to watch, their offensive explosion.
Exactly. And I mean, we know that Coachella Valley is the team to beat in the DVL, Palm Desert, the team to beat in the DEL. How great would it be if we can get a preseason game, CV versus Palm Desert, this next school year?
I know, that would be so interesting to watch. They both have like almost all of their talented players back. Palm Desert does it with defense and toughness, and they've got a nice offense too. And then Coachella Valley with their explosive offense. That would be a great sort of battle of strengths, the Palm Desert defense against the Coachella Valley offense. History has shown that, the Desert Empire League teams usually come out on top when they play DBL teams, but not always. I know CV has had wins over La Quinta in recent years, so that would be something to see. I would love to see that ordered up for sure.
Oh, yeah. Hey, maybe we're speaking that into existence then. And if it happens, yes, we called it. You heard it here on Friday Night Lights. Well, thank you so much, Shaq, for joining us. As always, we're in the home stretch of this shortened season. Next week is week 5, the last one for our local high school football teams. And with no playoffs this year, it carries that much more importance and emotion. We'll find out who finishes on top of the leagues and who will be looking forward to improve for this fall. So let's take a look at the matchups for next week. We'll start with the DEL on Friday, a couple of big rivalry games. Palm Desert hosting La Quinta in the flag game. The Aztecs will be looking to cap off an undefeated season. Palm Springs hosts Rancho Mirage in the Ramon Road rivalry game. Both teams fighting for second in the DEL. And we do have a Saturday game next week with Shadow Hills hosting Xavier Prep. And in the DVL on Thursday night, Coachella Valley travels to Yucca Valley as they try to cap off their undefeated season. Then on Friday, a trio of games. Desert Hot Springs hosting Cathedral City. Indio's traveling to 29 Palms. And Desert Mirage is at Banning. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight for Friday Night Lights Week 4. Some great action across the valley. And again, can't stress this enough. Awesome to see our student athletes out on the field. Even if it is a short season, we're just enjoying every minute, every second of it. We'll see you back here next week. Until then, I'm Brandy Flores. Have a great night.